Well, good evening, everybody. This is Charles McKenzie, President of Infected Blood Australia, and I'm doing this live tonight to, first of all, ask for your help. I officially have no money at all now, although I have to congratulate someone who donated to my GoFundMe. They've helped pay for me to end my dental troubles. You may have been following over the years. I spoke about how victims of the infected blood scandal here in Australia are supposed to get free dental cover. I forced a Senate inquiry into the blood scandal 20 years ago. There was no inquiry at all. There were no lawyers involved, so it wasn't worth the paper it was written on. But it unanimously agreed, the Senate of Australia unanimously agreed that people like myself should have free dental cover because we were injured as children, okay, through no fault of our own, free dental cover. So g'day to those people joining me. You're going to find this very interesting tonight. Infected blood's about to become a criminal matter. Okay, so what's happened is we were supposed to, infected blood victims in Australia, haemophiliacs are supposed to get free dental cover, right? A few years ago, I was told by haemophiliacs and people in our group, including women who were infected with viruses from childbirth, they were told they couldn't access dentists. We're supposed to have dentists because many of us are very poor, and there's supposed to be dental cover. In fact, the Senate promised us dental cover. Well, guess what? I have been trying for years to get my broken teeth fixed, and I've gone to the Sydney Central Area Health Service, and I've gone to New South Wales Health, and they've given me lots of appointments, and every time I go to them, they cancel them. Okay, well, there's some other thing. And the other thing that they did was they started root canal therapy on one of my teeth, but then they found out I was unvaccinated. So do you know what they did? They cancelled further work on my teeth because I was unvaccinated, so they discriminated against me. And I said to them, you will not discriminate against me. And staff at the Sydney Central Area, at the Sydney Dental Hospital, okay, basically broke my privacy by saying, why are you unvaccinated? This was in front of everyone, okay? And then they surrounded me with security and they cancelled further appointments. So my tooth became so dangerous and I have a bleeding disorder, okay? So today, I have to announce that Mark Butler, Australia's health minister, is in the deepest shit of his life. Oh, he's in such deep shit. You know why? This prick, this absolute criminal, has led to infected blood victims not getting the services that we were supposed to get. There is no dental. It was a lie. And I've had to now, to save my life, because it had become dangerous, I've had to have a back molar removed from my mouth. And they wanted to do it as sedative therapy, okay, because it's a bloody thing, and I couldn't afford it. I couldn't afford it, okay? I couldn't afford it. So I just had it pulled out, and basically they said I've got the longest roots that they've seen in a long time because they were worried they'd snap, and I had to have them holding my head like that, and they were waggling the thing for 2 hours to get this bloody tooth out. 2 hours like that. 2 hours. And I had to pay $880, 500 of which I'm very happy to announce was paid for by a kind donor, and the rest of which I paid for out of my pension, so I've got no money now for 2 weeks, and I'm running a group which is a group for thousands of the Australian victims of the infected blood scandal. It's total collapse. There's no services here. Victims of the same scandal all around the world get compensation, they get assistance, they get help, they get dental cover. This is a scandal. We get nothing. We get no help whatsoever. If you're an infected blood victim, if you're one of the thousands of people that ended up getting a taint of blood from blood given during childbirth, or from an elective surgery, or from an accident, or a cancer patient, or a haemophiliac, right? There's no services. You're overseas, they give you counselling because this stuff can play with your head, right? There's nothing here. And so I've written to this man, Australia's Health Minister, Mark Butler, and I have demanded that he do things, right? He's basically come back and said he's not going to do a thing. So, after many years of trying to get my teeth fixed, and after knowing that people from my group have committed suicide and their deaths have been hastened by a denial of support, then what I'm going to do tonight, I've contacted the Infected Blood Inquiry in the United Kingdom, of which I'm a witness, to tell them that this man is committing crimes against us, against the survivors and their affected family members of the infected blood scandal. And after a long time of trying with this man to get him to do the decent thing. And after I consider what's happened to me to be a bloody assault, that was terrible what happened to me today. Terrible in the fact that strangers had to pay for me, an Australian who was infected as a kid, to get dental work. Well, I've got news to Mark Butler. He may be thinking that he's going to get away with this. I'm going to make it a criminal matter. If this man does not help the Australian victims of this scandal by November, I'll be going to police and making a criminal complaint about Australia's Health Minister, Mark Butler. Okay? And I've advised my lawyers tonight, and I'm writing them tonight, we would like to start our criminal proceedings. We would like to start legal proceedings, and we would like to start our class action on behalf of the Australian victims of the infected blood scandal. Now, I'm not doing this for money. I'm doing this on principle. I didn't go for years with broken teeth. I had people that could have paid for my teeth, and I refused because I wanted to live the way the average Australian lives when they're poor or when they're a victim of a medical scandal like the infected blood scandal. Well, after 4 years of living like this, I can live like this no more. No more! No more will I be subjected to this bullshit. This man, we're going to court against this man. I am announcing the beginnings of our case against this man. You will not do this to Australians anymore. I'm also going to have this man's career. He is covering up child murder. We have evidence that this man knows that children were knowingly harmed by infected blood. We will not cop that in Australia. We will not have perverts as health ministers. If he wants to cover up child murder, if he wants to cover up people being harmed, then he loses his career. And I'll tell you one thing. The last face this dirty dog will ever see when he realises that his career is finished will be mine. And the faces of the infected blood victims, the Australians that he has betrayed. And if you can probably tell, I've never been more angry in my life. This guy's fucked. We're coming for you, mate.